I'm wearing lipstick, so everything's fine. Bonjour, mon petit chifle, Amber here, and I'm in an awful mood. I've been putting off this video for hours, hoping that I would have calmed down considerably by the time that I went to record it. I'm glad there's a lavender candle sitting next to me, because as I come to film it, I'm feeling quite anxious, but that's fine because I have all my notes on what I wanted to say written down. Alright, so today a new fandom beef was brought to my attention, and I just got to thinking, are fandoms ruining music? And I'm not making this video to be hashtag relatable. I'm more so doing it because some of you are hashtag annoying as ever. And since I'm a bit older than a lot of you, think of this as coming from your wise, older, adorable big sister. Let me break down what in general I'm talking about. So today, it was brought to my attention, there's a new interview out with Maddie of the 1975, obviously. And I'm not coming at this from a biased point of view, but a small, very, very small segment of the interview, he was talking about we're going into the studio with One Direction, and how they wanted to play Change Your Ticket for him, and upon hearing it, like most of us, he's like, hey, this is kind of my song. Because they were very inspired by him, or them, they wanted to play the song, and if you don't know, it's a complete rip off of Girls. And Maddie basically says, like, hey, you should probably not use my song. Hold on, I want to pull up the exact quote, actually. It says, they got me in and they said, we really like your band, would you write a song for us? They didn't seem to be actually that interested. They just wanted to play me this song that they said was really, really inspired by us. The song was Change Your Ticket, whose bubble funk groove was a dead ringer for the 1975's Girls. Healy asked that the group not make his influence quite so direct. Listen guys, fill your boots. The song doesn't sound that much like Girls, but the guitar and the whole vibe of it is a complete lift. So take the guitars off and we're good. The group agreed. But when the song showed up with guitars and vibe untouched and as a bonus track on their album 4, Healy was upset, not because he wasn't credited as a songwriter on the song, but because the group failed to explicitly say that he didn't help write it. It would have been a bad 1975 song, he explains. He bears One Direction no resentment, they're nice guys, mostly blaming their management for this mix-up, but the experience put him off writing with other artists, blah blah blah. So this is a whole big article that the One Direction fan base took one tiny chunk out of, and are kind of like losing their crap over it. And my thing is, I have a few points, because this isn't what the whole video is about, but that's just what got me thinking. That's what kind of inspired it. So, regarding the whole Maddie thing, of all the problematic things that Maddie has said or done, this is not one of them, and he's actually 100% correct. As far as Change Your Ticket itself, the very first time I heard the song, I didn't get past the opening chords of it. I was like, there were a lot of, what is this, and excuse me, and I closed the computer and walked away, because I'm like, this is Girls. Did I accidentally switch songs and somehow I'm not aware of it? And it sort of put me off from One Direction a bit. But as far as where Maddie's coming from, like, don't rip off my song and pretend that I wrote it. I mean, it's long been speculated that Maddie wrote that song from the time that they released that picture with him and Pete Wentz when they were all in the studio. And I may be wrong, but no one from 1D's camp ever cleared up that rumor. Like, oh no, it was just influenced by the 1975, but Maddie didn't write the song. I mean, why would he rewrite a song that he wrote years ago? They basically just posted the picture, let us come to our own conclusions, and run with it. And, oh, and then there was the bit, I'm sorry, where at the very end of the One Direction segment, after he's basically, put off, he's like, when I tell him the group's new album is basically a game of pop history, name that tune, he responds, oh, well, they're 4 guys who queued up outside an arena to sing in front of Simon Cowell. Do they really have any artistic credibility? That sounds like a mean thing to say, but it's a good question. Like, do they? As far as that goes, I don't think, it's not like, shut up. As far as that part goes, the One Direction were like, what, like 16 or 16, 17 when they auditioned for X Factor. They were so young, and they all auditioned to be solo artists. None of them were like, hey, let's be in a band. They were put together as a band, and I'm not taking anything away from that, because they made something of themselves from being put together on the spot. That being said, yes, they have grown together as a band, and they've grown so much, and they're now writing for themselves and finding their sound and finding their place as artists to become more serious, and so people take them seriously as not just bubblegum pop boy band. But I think Maddie has a place to talk on this, because the 1975 have been a band for like 11 years. And they've always been a band. It's always been them. So they've had that time to fine-tune their craft and their art and who they are as musicians and their artistic credibility. Every song, every word of every song is written by Maddie, and the music is written by Maddie and George, and everything that is cranked out by the 1975 is the 1975. And yes, there are nods to different artists throughout their song. Like Love Me sounds a lot like Fame by David Bowie, but it's different. And Change Your Ticket is not the first One Direction song that is a complete ripoff of another song. People talk about that legitimately all the time. In fact, another song that kind of put me off and annoyed me, even though I do like the song Where Do Broken Hearts Go, it sounds exactly like Heaven is a Place on Earth by Belinda Carlisle. Like exactly. Not just like, oh, that kind of reminds me of that. It's like the exact same tune. I mean, I write songs, and I think you can tell at some points who, like, the artist or band or whatever that influenced a certain bit of the song, but I think you have to find that line as a musician where it's not their song, where you're not putting new words to someone else's song, where you can see who you're influenced by, but your identity's still in it. Now, the next point is a lot of fans are, when they're like, when Maddie talks about the One Direction's artistic credibility, but you cover What Makes You Beautiful in the BBC Live Lounge, and you use Harry's cutout in the Love Me music video to become popular. Point number one, as far as the Live Lounge thing goes, one, I'm pretty sure the artists don't choose the songs that they perform. Second point, which kind of proves Maddie's point, is One Direction did not write What Makes You Beautiful, so that's an irrelevant statement. And three, he never said anything bad about the boys. He, as far as I know, is kind of still cool with Harry, and the whole problem that he had was with their management. Even though, to some degree, I think One Direction should take responsibility, because at the end of the day, that's their choice to use that song. And as far as Maddie using Harry in the Love Me music video, if you think that he's using it to become popular or for attention, you clearly don't get you don't get the song, but whatever. I don't expect as much. But at the end of the day, as far as the whole Maddie thing goes, I respect someone that doesn't sugarcoat things to please other people, at least as far as when it comes to their craft, their art. So, which brings me to fandoms in general. Alright. You guys, here's your cute, older, wise big sister coming in with just a few tips and thoughts that I think are important to keep at the back of your brain. Number one, if you can't acknowledge something that your fave does that is a little questionable, then that shows a lack of maturity on your part. You don't have to agree and support every single thing that someone does just because you like them. It's not going to change your status as a fan. In fact, I might respect you more as a person if you're like, hey, that's kinda, but I still like you as an artist. Point number 2, which goes with point number 1, you can't be so far up their butts that you just blindly attack anyone that criticizes or disagrees with the person you like. Or if you are going to come after somebody, at least have a solid / informed argument prepared. Don't just spew like nonsense just because you want to drag someone who came after your fave. I don't know why I said fave like that. Not everyone's going to like the artist that you like, and I know that's a lot to handle, so you might want to sit down, but that's okay. And attacking them is not going to change their opinion. That's not going to make you right. And it's especially not going to change anything when your only retaliation is about someone's physical appearance or something that has absolutely nothing to do with the subject at hand, that just makes you look childish. And I don't want you to think I'm coming after just the One Direction fan base. By no means am I doing that. I am a One Direction fan. I love the guys. I love their music, regardless of anything else I've had to say about it. Like I just said, I am able to criticize them even though I like them. And I am impressed with how far they've come. So I'm not talking about just Directioners. Beliebers, Selenators, Arianators, I don't know, Mixers, Harmonizers, 1975 fans, Halsey fans, I don't know. I can't keep track of all these musicians, honestly. If you consider yourself in a fandom. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of all the fandoms I just listed, you are allowed to like more than one artist, band, genre of music. It's not a sin. It's not going to take away your fangirl card. It's actually a good thing to be well versed in music. If you're going to proclaim that you love music so much, you should like more than one group of people. You should be open to different things. Okay. Breathe. A lot of you guys are so hypocritical that I can't deal with it. Like, OMG, don't bully my fave or my fandom, but OMG, let's drag anyone and everyone that's not us. Yeah, slay. Which brings me to another tidbit of the subject I was talking about earlier, the Maddie versus 1D, even though it's not really that, because none of them are actually involved in this beef. Honestly, I doubt Maddie cares. So, I've been seeing and hearing that upon this situation, there are a lot of Directioners in Maddie's mentions telling him that they hope that he overdoses and dies. And I'm trying, like, can you just like grow a freaking brain, please? Like, you ignorant troll. Yeah, we're so cool. We're gonna come after this guy who has issues with drugs and tell him we hope he overdoses because we're so cool. Yeah, that'll show him, fam. What? First of all, let's just start with the fact that, like, a group of, like, 16-year-old girls not liking a 26-year-old man who has been so unapologetic about who he is, I just need you to know you're not affecting him in any sort of way. He doesn't care. If you don't care about him and his music, he does not care about anything you have to say. So, bye. But, like, this is what made me so mad. Like, how is the human race that screwed up that, like, you think that's okay? That's not okay. It's not an okay thing. Yes, majority of the 1975 songs are either about sex or drugs. Okay, whatever. I'm shaking right now. But while we're here, while we're in this vicinity, can I just take a second to talk about the Halsey thing? I wasn't going to talk about it, but saying that you were glad that she has any sort of illness and that you hope that she can't bear children, that's sick and needs to stop now. Like, I don't know, maybe you've never dealt with any sort of illness of any sort or had a loved one deal with it, but along with the magic thing, addiction and sickness, they're nothing to joke about. And you're awful, and karma is a thing. So keep that in mind. And, you know, if you don't like her, like I said, that's fine. Don't like her for whatever reasons. You don't like her music, you think she's problematic, she was rude to you, she's been linked to your fave, or, you know, she's not black. Bruh. Dude. Just, it pisses me off so much that it's mostly black girls that are trying to strip her of her race, but it's the same black girls that would have such a problem if Halsey didn't acknowledge who she was and didn't try to use her platform to bring awareness. We already have enough struggles and problems without your unwarranted negativity, so please go pack that away somewhere. And it's also really sad to me that a lot of, like, it's the hypocrisy thing all over again. A lot of you are the same ones that deal with mental health and emotional issues. And if people came at you the way you come at her, or Maddie, or whoever, or I don't know, whoever it is you don't like and are trying to drag on the internet because you're a keyboard warrior, that could easily break you and push you over the edge. And just social media doesn't suddenly mean that the person you're interacting with is not human anymore. And I think my whole point of this video is that I just want a level of respect and maturity to return to the music scene. And it's just so annoying when it's just supposed to be about music, and music's supposed to bring people together and help you get through things, and it's just supposed to be about the music, not personal lives, not who's dating whom, or who you ship somebody with, or who's not my fave, this, that, and the other. And all of that seems to overshadow what it's really about. And I don't know, in fandoms, which really feel like cults, they just taint artists and music in general, and I'm just sick of it. And I mean, it's 2016, and there are bigger problems in this world. Can we just please just grow up a little bit?